Good day everyone. Welcome to a new video of Crypto Michael. And normally we would have had Altcoin Sunday on Sunday, but today we have it on Monday as I'm sitting sidelined and just studying for my final resit for my study economics, which is econometrics. I had a 5.4 for the first try. And I actually had some right answers, or partly, and they didn't give me any points. So I have to have a 5.5, which I'm going to retry 7 months after the first one. So 1st of July I'm going to do that. Because of that, I'm fully focused on studying. I wasn't able to do anything yesterday. I'm not going to do the live stream tonight either. It's going to be next week. Apologies for less content recently, but the pressure and the significance of the resit is way higher than providing a bit more content nowadays, as you might assume. If I finish the study, I can do so much more stuff business-wise and life-wise that yeah. Alright, so another subject I've been discovering recently is the how should I phrase it? I think it's classified by just the extreme way of thinking of people that there is only black and white and there is just no gray. And I'm not discussing the racism discussion here. That's something I'm not gonna do. But it's all about price action. It's like price goes up, so it's either going to be 15k, and if price goes down, it's either going to be 3k, and there's nothing in between. And I've been seeing it all over the weekend. Price dropped $100, and all of a sudden the 6k charts are coming in back again, and people are expecting March to occur again. The issue I have with that is that, okay, if you're watching my videos, you know that I see a new crash in September and October as a likely one. However, the issue I have is that the majority of the people are expecting a crash to occur in this period. And I'm getting some doubts about it, and I start to assume that we might actually get maybe a blow off top given the increased inflation. Or we get the disruption of the economy next year. I'm still in debate with myself about it, but the conclusion I have is that if you're assuming much to happen again, you're betting on an outlier that did not happen before in hundreds of years on the equity market, or at least since 1900 it did not happen. Such a long lockdown and stuff. So betting on that exact thing to happen again is an extremely risky bet, so I would not be counting on it. That's just what I wanted to say. Today it's Altcoin Sunday, so apologies for this 3-minute monologue about some other random stuff, in which we're going to discuss charts. Today we're going to discuss TomoChain, Digibyte and some more, and I think we have got some interesting charts over here. As you know, I've charted TomoChain on social media earlier, and it's one of the DeFi projects that's not really moving at all yet, but I think it's heating up, essentially given that we've flipped the 100-day and 200-day MA. Rejected partly because of a slight retrace on Bitcoin and everybody was crying for their mum. Second, we've made a breakup upwards, and TomoChain has the behavior to reject quite heavily towards the next resistance. So in this case, you see, I'll just get rid of the magnet. We have a resistance area here in which we rejected, which is similar in the period we have here. So we see that we've constructed the range, and we reject heavily every time. We see that we've dropped all the way down as well there. So is it bad to assume that we're going to see such a rejection again? No. We have broken above this range high, and we're ready towards the next range. in which we can establish a new range. In this case, what you want right now is that the price doesn't drop below this level here, essentially the OB around 4600 sats. And as long as we hold above that level, preferred 4750, but you know it can weak, then we are constructing a new range, and then we can start tabbing this resistance. The acceleration will come when, just like we do here, we crack the actual resistance. In this case, you see that we are tapping the resistance, we break, we drop down to test the OB, and then we accelerate, as nothing is there in between. In this case, if we hold 4600 sats, and Bitcoin behaves normally, which I assume it will, and we start tabbing this resistance, it's likely that we're going to expect a breakout, and given that we expect a breakout to occur, the next target zones are defined 50% higher. So breaking 6000 sets and we get the acceleration we want, and most likely we get continuation actually, and then we get a new cycle just like we've witnessed here. If we check the USD chart on KuCoin, which is the chart with the most data, we see that we are basically still stuck in a long range. And I've made this DA earlier on, in which I described that the range resistance, is in this block. You have to crack through it. Short term, we see the OB here, rejection. What you don't want to lose in this case is the support level here. This area you don't really want to lose, and yes, it's a really odd structure as we're just grinding up, but we still have to face that this is a huge outlier due to a liquidity problem in the market. So we're just grinding back levels, testing previous levels. This was one of the significant levels. This is the next one, and then we got this one, and once we break through this one, we can assume that we're going into price discovery, and then I have to get a new chart maybe on CoinTrader to see where the levels are. So right now what you don't want to see losing is this zone. If we keep above and we continue grinding, it's similar to the TomoBTC chart, in which TomoBTC should also grind up, and once we break above 60 cents, it's likely to assume that TomoBTC rallies up and we touch or might face $1 if you just calculate it. So that's my view on Tomo right now. Quant Network was also one of the charts we wanted to chart, and we have been charting this one significantly in the previous period, in which we see that this is a bullish div or deviation below support holds and we break downtrend. Significant resistance area in this zone which held up. Another bearish divergence here creating downwards bias, in which the range low has been tested. One test of resistance, two tests of resistance, three tests of resistance, support resistance flip of OB, and this horizontal support level above 100 day and 200 day MA, third test, fourth test breakout. And this breakout occurs, so we ready towards the next resistance area, which is defined here, in which we are acting into it right now. And yes, we can wick to 13,000, 130,000. But it's likely that we are going to reverse or at least consolidate for a little longer. And what's the level you want to watch if we consolidate a little longer? Well, we can start targeting 69k, but it's not likely that we're going there, as we have broken such a significant resistance zone. The level here with a potential wick towards 77,000 in the longer perspective during the summer should be an interesting long area as point 1 and the primary objective. Second objective is the 69k zone, but that's less likely, but then we get an uptrend like we do here. And then we still have higher lows that we are making. So since the crash in March, it's also in buy the dip approach on higher time frames. So based on this PA, I'm assuming that we're rejecting soon. We get a potential entry here. How can we target the next target from there? Either by doing the Fibonacci extension on this wave, which will target 145, or the Fibonacci extension from the level we get here, which is 134 to 145, second target 168. Next chart I want to bring up is Digibyte, as I'm also assuming that Digibyte will be a significant mover soon. As you can see, we've broken above the range over here as after we flipped the level, broke the range, flipped for support, broke above the 100-day, 200-day MA, support test, another support test here, which is a higher low, higher low, higher low, another support resistance test, higher low, renewed test here, higher low, another test from the previous resistance zone from this block here, higher low. So it's all getting squeezed. And given that we are making a sort of pennant structure, there is going to be a significant move coming up. You don't want to lose this level here, which is the 200 set zone. If we lose that level, then the second entry zone is probably 180, and then you might get a potential fake out downwards, which in this case is there are a few scenarios. Okay, so what we can have is that we get this structure and we break up, tap above this level, flip it for support, and then the next target zone is this OB here around 360 sets. That's one of the primary and easiest way of following through. Second one is that we get this move, we tap this and then break below, in which this confirms resistance, and then you can expect a further retrace towards 100, which means that there's a fake out to the upside, after which the previous resistance level becomes resistance again, and then you can expect continuation downwards and an acceleration downwards. The third one is that we get this structure in which we tap 180, reclaim 200, and then we break up. So you should be aware that we're getting into a compression period in which there are a few scenarios likely. If we break up, I'm assuming we can rally towards 360 area. If we break down, I'm assuming we're going to test the OB around 100 sets, which is untested. Then a chart that I'm not too happy about, which is WRX, also an IEO. And I'll explain why. We have seen a substantial rally after listing. After that, we have tested this previous OB for support, which caused a rally upwards to the previous resistance level, confirmed the resistance, downwards trend, another resistance level, and this previous support has been tested for resistance here, after which we came down again towards this OB. And right now there's just no volume, and given that we have lower highs constructed, there's still a downtrend going on. There's also lower lows, and we have been tapping this support quite some time. We've also been tapping this lower time frame resistance, which is previous support also. So there is compression and there is a momentum building up here. And given that its support has been tested many times, I don't want to play this level again. So if we break below this support, there's not much, as you can see. The first levels are deep down at 800 and 700. However, if we break, so if it drops down, I'm going to target these zones. If we break up and we flip this level, I'm assuming we're going to tap these resistance zones here, and then you can play this long. And then we might be starting a new cycle. However, it should be making more confirmation. But in this area, I'm not too interested at this point. Another one that's not showing too much interest right now is the DREP. Clear resistance area based on the daily. If we zoom in on the 4 hour, we can see that there's a substantial another level, which is this area here. Overall, if we zoom at the 1 day chart, we can see that there was a rising wedge structure breakdown, and we can actually define 2 levels. As we have been discussing previously on the live stream, the main level that I'm interested in is around this block around 22. There's also a level being untested and probably being tested soon, which is the beneath 28.29. 28.29 could cause a rally towards 40 again, in which you get a structure like this, and then we continue a new wave. If we zoom in on the 4 hour, we can see that we made a pretty nice trend, and in this case the trend broke down, but more significantly we lost this support. You didn't really want to see it lose this level over here in an uptrend, as you can see that every time it holds the previous OB, in this case as well, holds continuation. In this case we break down, after which the previous level of support confirms resistance, previous level of support confirms resistance, and in this case we might see a rally towards 39.40 as I've just explained, in which you could target some scalp trades in this zone before we get that, as this is just untested yet. There's no test here. Overall, I don't know what happened, but a substantial downwards move in which it's likely that we're going to consolidate a little bit more, and you generally want to see such a rounded bottom occur, in which this area here somewhere in September, October should be interesting to get some long entries going. Then the final one, which is ThorChain. Very long range here, as you can see, which is also not showing lower highs or showing lower lows. Apologies. Range low, support, another test, and here another flip of the higher time frame support, and after this we flipped another level, and as we saw tests of resistance here, the next test caused a breakout in which we got an immediate flip. However, after such a substantial rally, you don't really want to lose the previous OB here. So the level that you don't really want to lose is this zone around 3044. Based on the daily, I do see a bearish divergence, which is the similar case as here. And there could be another wave in which we create a longer version of this divergence, which is critical and similar to the previous period here. So if we assume that we are at this structure, you don't want to see it lose this level, which is similar to this zone here. You don't want to see it lose. If we hold here, we might get another wave, and if we might get another wave, you want to construct it by Fibonacci, and then we can target 515600, or we might even target 641800 with a blow off top, and then we can construct a new wave or new range. If we lose this level, however, there's a few target points you should be interesting, and I've got 3, which is 24222, 1917 and 1703. Best entry is probably the lowest, which is around this one, but I guess the 100-day and 200-day MA will kick in if we get in this range, if we drop further down. But overall, it's debatable. If I want to get scalp entries, I'll be looking in this zone here. If I'm looking for investment opportunities, I think the whole entry is gone, as we've just witnessed the range, and I'll be waiting for the larger time frame retracement. So that's a 70-minute video about 6 altcoins. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please subscribe to the channel for daily TA videos and content on investing, trading, crypto, equity markets, commodities, economy. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow again.